In this video, we're going to talk about angle between two lines, perpendicular distance of a point from a line, point of intersection of two lines, parallel and perpendicular lines, and lastly, equation of a straight line. Let's talk about distance between a point and a line. If I have a point, I have a point P, x1, y1, and a line that has the equation ax plus by plus c equal to 0. The perpendicular distance, or the shortest distance between the point and the line, has the formula. The distance is actually the modulus of this. Ax1 plus by1 plus c divided by the square root of a squared plus b squared. We use this formula to determine the distance between a point and a line. This is the first question. I want to find the distance between this point and the line that has this equation. Alright, using the formula we can actually do it. If I compare this point and this point, my x1 is minus 3. My y1 is 5. If I compare this equation with this, a is equal to 4, b is equal to minus 3, right? And my c there is minus 26 here. So the distance is the absolute value of what's a is 4, what's x1 minus 3. So it is 4 times minus 3 then I have plus by1. What's b? B is minus 3, y1 is 5. Minus 3 times 5. Then plus c, and c is minus 26, so I'll just write minus 26 divided by the square root of a squared. A is 4, that's 4 squared, plus b is minus 3, so minus 3 all squared. All this gives us, this is minus 12, this is minus 15, and this is minus 26 divided by 4 squared is 16. Alright, we have the square root of 16, minus 3 squared is positive 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. So the distance is, we have this now, the modulus of minus 12 minus 15 minus 26 is minus 53 divided by 16 plus 9 is 25. So the square root of 25 is 5. What this absolute value does is that it will change it to positive. It is negative, so it becomes 53 over 5. I want to determine the distance of the point, this point, from the line. Alright, let me write that line in the form that we have here, that says ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Alright, so it will be like this. 3x will cross and turn to minus 3x, plus y is there, minus 1 will cross and turn to a minus 1, and this is equal to 0. So that if we compare this equation and the one we have, a is minus 3, right? B is 1, which is the coefficient of y. C is minus 1. And this point here we have x1 is 5, and x2 and y1, y1 equal to 1. So the formula says the distance is the modulus of ax1 plus by1 plus c divided by the square root of a squared plus b squared. So we say a is minus 3 and x1 is 5. So minus 3 times 5 is minus 15. B is 1. Y1 is 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. And what's C? Minus 1. Divided by the square root of a squared. A is minus 3. So minus 3 squared is 9. B is 1. 1 squared is still 1. So we have the square root of 9 plus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So minus 15 plus 0 is minus 15. All over root 10. Because 9 plus 1 is 10. So the absolute value will make that number to be positive, so that the distance is equal to 15 all over root 10. Right, let's talk about angle between two lines. Angle between two lines. Let's talk about it. Given two lines with gradient m1 and m2, I have two lines with gradients m1 and m2 respectively. To determine the angle between the two lines, we use the formula that is tan theta equals to the modulus of m2 minus m1 divided by 1 plus m2 times m1. So this formula is used to determine the angle between two lines. All right. So let us find the angle between the two lines that has the equations 3x minus 4y plus 7 equal to 0 and 5x plus 2y minus 3 equal to 0. Let's say the first line, that's L1, is 3x minus 4y plus 7 equal to 0. This is the first line. What is the gradient of this line? What is the gradient of this line? To determine the gradient of this line, let us make y the subject of the formula. Okay, let's make y the subject of the formula. We are going to write the equation, this equation now, in the gradient intercept form of a straight line. Now, making y the subject of the formula, this is it. 3x and 7 we have to cross. So we have minus 4y be equal to minus 3x minus 7. So we now divide both sides by minus 4, right? So we'll be having y equal to minus 3x over minus 4 minus 7 all over minus 4, which will produce y equal to this. We cancel this, we have 3x over 4 plus 7 all over 4. Alright, so this is the gradient intercept form of this equation. Alright, the gradient of this line is the coefficient of x here after making y the subject of the formula. This is it, 3 over 4. The gradient intercept form says y equal to mx plus c. M is the gradient and it's the coefficient of x here. So m1, I'm going to say that m1 is equal to 3 all over 4, which is the gradient of this first line. Now, what is m2? In the same vein, we are going to make y the subject of the formula from equation 2. So we have 5x, this is L2, 5x plus 2y minus 3 equal to 0. Making y the subject, 5x and minus 3 we have to cross. So we have 2y is equal to minus 5x plus 3. Dividing both sides by 2, y will be equal to minus 5x all over 2 plus 3 over 2. This is the gradient intercept form of the equation of this second line. Gradient here is minus 5 over 2, okay, and that's M2. So M2 is equal to minus 5 all over 2. The angle between the two lines with gradient M1, M2 is this. We have tan theta equals to the modulus or the absolute value of M2 minus M1 divided by 1 plus M2 times M1. So what's tan theta equal to now? We have the modulus of M2 is minus 5 over 2, minus 5 all over 2. M1 is 3 over 4 divided by 1 plus M2, which is minus 5 over 2, times M1, which is 3 over 4. So this is it. Minus 5 over 2 minus 3 over 4, using LCM, this is what we have. The LCM is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2, times minus 5 is minus 10. 4 divided by 4 is 1, times minus 3 is minus 3. Divided by, this is 1. Minus 5 times 3 is minus 15 all over 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So that tan theta is equal to, this is minus 13 over 4, modulus of minus 13 all over 4, divided by, okay, simplifying this, 8 times 1 is 8, minus 15 all over 8. So we have minus 13 all over 4 divided by 8 minus 15 is minus 7, minus 7 all over 8. So this is simply minus 13 all over 4. If I say times, I'm supposed to say divided by minus 7 over 8. So if I use times, it will now be minus 8 all over 7. Okay, so this is 4 years 1, 4 years 2. So we have the modulus of 26 over 7. Tan theta is equal to 26 all over 7. So to get the value of theta, which is the angle between the two lines, theta is simply the tangent inverse of 26 over 7. And to the nearest whole number, the tan inverse of 26 over 7 is 75 degrees. To the nearest whole number, approximately to the nearest whole number. This is it for angle between two lines. Let's now talk about point of intersection of two lines. Point of intersection of two lines. The point where two lines meet. If we are given the equations of two lines and we are to find the point of intersection of the lines, what we are going to do is to solve the two equations simultaneously. All right, that's just it. To determine the value of x and y. So we are given two equations here, the equations of straight lines, 3x plus 4y minus 10 equal to 0, 2x minus 3y minus 1 equal to 0. And we have to find the point where these two lines intersect. So we solve them simultaneously. Let's call this equation 1 and this equation 2. To solve this, I can either eliminate or substitute, but I think let me eliminate. Okay, let me just eliminate. It's either I eliminate x or I eliminate y. I can eliminate any of them, but let me eliminate x. Here, x is having a coefficient of 3. Here it is 2. So I can make them to be the same by multiplying this one by the 2, so that I will have 6 here. and multiplying this one by the 3, so that I will also have 6 here. So if I multiply equation 1 by 2, I'll be having 6x plus 8y minus 20 equal to 0. This is a new equation, equation 3. And if I multiply the second equation by 3, I'll be having 6x minus 9y minus 3 equal to 0. This is equation 4. So I can easily eliminate x now by saying equation 3 minus equation 4, or equation 4 minus equation 3. Whichever one, I'll get the same result. So if I say equation 3 minus equation 4, it means I'll have this 6x minus 6x, which is 0, plus 8y minus 9y, alright, minus 20 minus 3 equal to 0 minus 0, and that's 0. This is out. This is a plus, minus is a plus. So 8y plus 9y, that's 8 plus 9 is 17. Minus 20 plus 3. This plus, actually, minus is a plus. So minus 20 plus 3 is actually minus 17. From which we have 17y is equal to 17. And dividing both sides by 17, y is equal to 1. So y is 1. What then is x? Let's make a substitution now. In place of y, in either of the 4 equations, we can write 1. So I'm going to put 1 for y in equation 1. So I'll be having 3x plus, this is now 4 times 1, minus 10 equal to 0. So we'll be having 3x plus 4 minus 10 equal to 0, which will lead to 3x minus 6. 4 minus 10 is minus 6, right? Equal to 0. And so we have 3x equal to 6. If you collect like terms, this minus 6 will cross and turn to a plus 6. So dividing both sides by 3, it means that x is equal to 2. So the coordinates, the point of intersection of these two lines is this. What is x? X is 2. What is y? Y is 1. This is the point where the lines intersect. Let's now talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. I have two lines, okay? The gradient of the first line is m1. The gradient of the second line is m2. Now, the condition for these lines to be parallel is that their gradients are equal. m1 is equal to m2. So given two lines with gradients m1 and m2 respectively, the lines are parallel if the m1 is equal to m2. That is, if they have equal slope. All right. The lines are perpendicular if the product of their gradients m1 times m2 equals -1. This is the condition for perpendicularity of two lines, and this is it for parallelism of two lines. I hope you know that from this equation here, I can say that m1 is equal to -1 all over m2, right? And I can also say that m2 is equal to -1 all over m1. That is, if I divide both sides by m1 and m2 respectively. Now, let's talk about the equation of a straight line. Now, there are different ways to write the equation of a straight line, okay? We have the gradient intercept form. Gradient intercept form. and it is this: y equal to mx plus c, and this is the gradient intercept form equation of a straight line. M is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is the value of y where x is 0. All right. We have the gradient and 1 point form. The gradient and 1 point form equation of a straight line. And this is it. Y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1. I am not proving it, okay? I'm just giving you the equations, right? M is the gradient and the point x1, y1 is on the line. Thirdly, we have the 2-point form. 2 points. And this is the 2-point form. We can get the 2-point form from here. Okay, from this equation, if I divide both sides by x minus x1, I'll be having y minus y1 all over x minus x1 equal to m. And remember what we said about the gradient. The gradient itself, m, is the change in the y-axis to the change in the x-axis. That's y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So if I write this in place of m here, I will be having y minus y1 all over x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 all over what? x2 minus x1. This is the 2-point form. This is the 2-point form equation of a straight line. Now see the first question we're going to solve. We have to find the equation of a line through the point, this, and has a gradient of 3. I want to find the equation of a line that passes through this point and the gradient of the line is 3. Which of these equations above will help me to do this? I can see that there is gradient and there is 1 point. The 1 point and gradient form will help me do this. x1 is 2, y1 is 1, m is 3. It's very simple. The gradient and 1 point form says y minus y1 is m into x minus x1. So we have y minus y1 is 1, m is 3, x1 is 2. So we have y minus 1 is equal to 3x minus 6. Alright, so if I make y the subject of the formula, I'll be having y is equal to 3x minus 6. This minus 1 will cross and turn to a plus 1. So that y is equal to 3x minus 5. This is it. Or we can say y minus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. That means we just set one side of the equation to 0. Alright, this one will cross, turn to a plus, this one cross, turns to a minus. Any one of them is it. The next question says, find the equation of the straight line which passes through the intersection of this line and this line and has a gradient of 3. A line passes through the intersection of these two lines. And I hope you know that the intersection of these two lines, the point of intersection of these two lines, is a point that also lies on the line whose equation we are looking for. And we talked about point of intersection of lines. To obtain a point of intersection, we solve the simultaneous equation. We have 2x minus y plus 7 equal to 0. 3x plus 2y minus 4 equal to 0. 1, 2. Let's say we are going to eliminate y. I will multiply this by 2. So that we'll be having from equation 1, 4x minus 2y plus 14 equal to 0. This is equation 3. So if I say equation 2 plus equation 3, so that this one will give me 0, I'll be having 3 plus 4, that's 7x. This plus this is 0. Minus 4. Minus 4 plus 14 is 10. Right? Yes, that's 14 minus 4, that's 10. Plus 10 equal to 0. So that x will be equal to minus 10 all over 7. So let's plug in the value of x into, let's say, equation 1. So we have, I'll be writing x here, that's minus 10 over 7. So 2 times minus 10 over 7 is minus 20 over 7. Minus y plus 7 equal to 0. So making y the subject, minus 20 over 7. Alright. Then plus the 7 is equal to y. Y will cross to the other side. Becomes positive. 7 times 7 is 49. Okay, so we have minus 20 plus 49, that's 29. Means that y is 29 all over 7. So the point of intersection of the two lines is this. X is 10 minus 10 over 7. Y is 29 all over 7. So this point actually lies on the line whose equation we are looking for. And the line has a gradient of 3. So using the gradient and 1 point form, okay, we are going to say y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So y1 is 29 over 7. M is 3. X1 is minus 10 over 7. So actually have a plus here, 10 over 7. So y minus 29 over 7 is 3x plus 30 over 7. So let's make y the subject. Y will be equal to 3x, okay, plus 30 over 7, then plus this one will cross and turn to a 29 all over 7. They are the same denominator, so I can just add them up. 3x plus, it will give me 59, right, over 7. So this is it. Y is equal to 3x plus 59 over 7. Is either I leave the equation like this, or I can eliminate the fraction by multiplying everything by 7. So that I'll be having 7 times y, 7y. 7 times 3x is 21. And I'll be having 59 here. So whichever way I leave it is correct. This is the equation of the line that passes through the intersection of these 2 points, these 2 lines rather, and has a gradient of 3. Let's solve this question under equation of lines number 3 now. We have to find the equation of the line which is parallel to this line, and the line passes through this point. We are looking for the equation of a straight line which passes through this point, and that straight line is parallel to this line. Now, when you hear parallel, you just think of equal gradient. Remember, we said that 2 lines are parallel if their gradients are equal. So it means that the gradient of this line, whose equation we are looking for, is the same as the gradient of this line. So if I know the gradient of this line that I'm looking for the equation, okay, and I have 1 point on that line, I can use the gradient and 1 point form to determine the equation. Now, let the gradient of this line, whose equation we are looking for, be m1. So m1, we don't know what it is. The gradient of this line, we can determine it. Remember the form we said y equal to mx plus c. We can write the equation of this, we can write this equation in this form to determine m, which is the gradient. Okay. So if I say from x plus 2y minus 4 equal to 0, I can make y the subject. It means that Minus 4 and x we have to cross. So we have minus x plus 4. Dividing both sides by 2, that will be equal to minus x over 2 plus 2. This is divided by 2. Divide this one by 2, we have 2. So this equation and this one, they are the same. The gradient of this line now, which will be m2, is the coefficient of x here. This is actually minus 1x. So what is attached to the x is minus 1 over 2. That will be the gradient of this line. Because this first line, whose equation we are looking for, is parallel to this line, m1 is equal to m2. This is equal to m1. So this is the gradient that we're going to use for this first line. The line passes through this point. Okay, so it means that x1 is 4, y1 is 3. So using the equation of a straight line that says y minus y1 is equal to m to x minus x1, it means that y minus y1 is 3. What is m? M is m1, which is minus half, minus 1 over 2, x minus x1. So we can just multiply both sides by 2 to eliminate this one here, or simply say cross multiply. The 2 multiply this, we having 2y minus 6. You agree with that? 2 times y is 2y, 2 times minus 3 is minus 6, equal to, I'm having minus 1 into x minus x1 left. So 2y minus 6 is equal to minus x plus x1. Sorry about that. What is x1? x1 is 4. x1 is 4. So I'm having 2y minus 6 equal to minus 1 into x minus 4. Minus 1 times x is minus x. Minus 1 times minus 4 is plus 4. So if I make y the subject, 2y will be standing alone, and we have minus x plus 4. Minus 6 will cross and turn to a plus 6. So that 2y is equal to minus x plus 10. Right? Dividing both sides by 2, y is equal to minus x over 2 plus 5. It is either I leave the equation like this, or I can leave it like this. Or we can say, simply say 2y plus x minus 10 equal to 0. This one will cross turn to plus x, this one will cross turn to minus 10. So whichever way I leave it, I'm correct. It gives the equation of the line parallel to this line and passes through this point. The fourth question says, find the equation of the line which passes through the point and perpendicular to the line 2y plus x plus 7 equal to 0. Now, the line passes through this point and is perpendicular to this line. It means that the product of the gradient of this line and the line whose equation we are looking for is equal to minus 1. First of all, what is the gradient of this line? Let's call the gradient of this line m2. If I rearrange this equation, 2y equal to minus x minus 7, that is to make y the subject of the formula, y will be equal to minus x over 2 minus 7 over 2. From here, m2 is equal to minus half, which is the coefficient of x here. So let the gradient of this first line be m1. Since the two lines are perpendicular, it means that m1 times m2 is equal to minus 1. So to get m1, I'll divide minus 1 by this gradient, minus 1 over 2. And that's actually minus cancel minus, That's 1 divided by 1 over 2. That's 1 times 2 over 1. And that's 2. So the gradient of this line, whose equation we are looking for, is 2. Now we have the gradient of the line, which is 2. And 1 point. We can now use the equation that says gradient and 1 point form. Y minus y1 equal to m into x minus x1. So this is y minus y1 is this is y1 and this is x1. Y1 is 1, m is 2, the gradient of the line, x1 is minus 4. So this will give us y minus 1 equal to, this is plus 4, right? 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 4 is 8. So let's make y the subject. Means that y is equal to 2x plus 8 plus 1. Okay? Y is equal to 2x plus 9, right? Y is equal to 2x plus 9. So if I say this is the equation, or I can say y minus 2x minus 9 equal to 0. Whichever one is correct. The next question says, find the equation of the straight line which pass through the pair of points, this and this. We have 2 points given, so we can use the 2-point form to determine the equation of the straight line. That is y minus y1 all over x minus x1 equal to y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Okay, so we have y minus y1 is 3, x1 is minus 4. So the minus minus will give a plus 4. Y2 is minus 5. Y1 is 3. X2 is 2. X1 is minus 4, right? So it will give us a plus 4. So this is y minus 3 all over x plus 4 is equal to, this is minus 8 all over 6, right? So if we cross multiply, we'll be having 6 multiply everything here, that's 6y minus 18. Then minus 8 multiply everything here, that's minus 8x minus 32. So we have 6y is equal to minus 8x minus 32 plus 18, right? 6y is equal to minus 8x minus 32 plus 18 is minus 14. Alright, so we can divide both sides by 2, for example, to obtain 3y equal to minus 4x minus 7. So we can choose to leave it this way, or if we completely make y the subject of the formula, we'll be having y equal to minus 4x all over 3. That's dividing both sides by 3 minus 7 all over 3. This will also work. Or if we move everything to one side and set one side to 0, that'll be y plus 4x over 3 minus, that will be plus 7 over 3 equal to 0. This will also work. So this is the equation of the straight line that passes through these 2 points. The x-intercept of a line is minus 3 over 7. If the line is perpendicular to this line, we have to find the equation of the line. Okay, that's the first line. Now, what is x-intercept? What is y-intercept? When y is 0, the value of a is the x-intercept. Okay, when x is 0, the value of a here, which is for y, is the y-intercept. So the x-intercept is, let's say, s comma 0. So x here, the value of x is the x-intercept, and the value of y here is the y-intercept. So the x-intercept occurs where y is 0, and the y-intercept occurs where x is 0. So the x-intercept of a line is minus 3 over 7. It means that the line passes through this point. X is minus 3 over 7 when y is 0. That's what it means. So the line, this line is perpendicular to this line. So by that, it means that the product of the gradient of these two lines is equal to minus 1. So what will be the gradient of this line? The line says 4y plus 3x equal to 10. I want to go straight. I want to go straight to determine the gradient. I can say that the gradient of this line, let me call it M2, is equal to minus 3 over 4. Verified. The gradient of this second line is minus 3 over 4. It means that to determine the gradient of the first line, that's M1, that's this line, this particular line now, I'll divide minus 1 by minus 3 over 4. That will give me 4 over 3. So 4 over 3 is the gradient of the line. Now that I have the gradient of the line, and I have a point that passes through the line, so using gradient and 1 point form, I can determine the equation of the line. Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Y minus y1 is 0. M is 4 over 3. X1 is minus 3 over 7. Of course, this will be a plus 3 over 7. So I'm having y is equal to, if I open this bracket, that'll be 4x over 3. Then 4 times this, 4 over 3 times this, that's actually 4 over 7. Because the 3 will cancel this one, so we have 4 over 7 left. So this is the equation of the line. Alright. I hope you enjoyed the video. Keep supporting by subscribing to this channel. Like the video and share it with your friends and your classmates. I'll see you in the next one. Keep watching.